So I've gotten quite a lot of DMs on Instagram asking me about this topic that I'm going to talk about in this video. You probably read the title. So how do you make money through commissions as a 3D artist? So in this video I'll be showing you and talking about the steps of how to do commissions and how to make money, and a couple of tips and a little bit of advice so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made. Because as a 3D artist, there are many ways of making money. This is one of them, and this is probably one of the best ways if you can get it right. Let me share with you my knowledge on how to make money through commissions. Just quickly before I give you the steps of how to make money through commissions and how to do it properly, I'll just explain what a commission is. So it is when somebody, either one person or a company, pays you to make a certain image for them. So usually what they'll do is they're either going to like your work, contact you through that way, or they'll contact you and say, we want a image or a 3D render of a car in a field with flowers during golden hour, for instance. And then you'll have to do something like that and create that image, send it to them. A lot of times you're going to have to make changes. So just know that, be patient, because you want to build a good relationship with the person or the company, because a lot of times it will lead to future work or even referrals to other companies or other people. Okay, so let me give you the steps. Step 1, make sure that your work is good enough. So what I mean by that is, if you're just learning Blender for you've only been doing it for a month, don't try and do commissions. Rather spend a year, get really good. Even 6 months, you can be pretty good in 6 months. So make sure that your work is good enough and that you are highly skilled enough to take on those commissions, because the worst thing that can happen is that a company can ask you for a certain design and then you can't do it, or it takes you longer than what expected, etc. So make sure you're skilled enough. That is step number 1. Step 2, be active on social media. So what I mean by that is, you don't have to spend 24 hours a day on social media, but what you want to do is have an Instagram account, a Twitter account, you can have a Facebook account, even maybe a YouTube channel, and then you can post your work to there. Even TikTok is pretty good. And this you can do while you're still learning. So in those 6 months building up, if you're just starting, try and grow your social media accounts, because the more followers you have, the more chance you have of getting work. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, it's like that. Step number 3, network with other 3D designers and artists, and even just creatives in general. So it can be photographers, videographers, any kind of creative, because if you build genuine connections with people, they will normally refer you if they hear, okay, well, somebody contacted them, they're looking for a 3D designer to design one image, and in turn you can do the same. So let's say you know a photographer and somebody asks you, they're looking for a photographer, you can refer your friend that you have networked with. Step number 4, don't be afraid to say yes to free work in the beginning. So a few you can do, but just make sure that you make it clear to the person that you're doing the free work for. If there's any other future business, it will be charged, so they will have to pay for it. And then once you've done 1 or 2, then start to charge. Okay, how much do you charge? You can charge anything between free, and some people are charging like $3,000 per render or design if you are that good. So I'm charging between $750 to $1,000 per design if I do any designs for any companies. But when I was starting out, I was charging $50, $75, and I just worked my way up. Okay, the next step is, when you get paid, make sure you use PayPal, because PayPal has a built-in invoice system which will help you to invoice clients or businesses, and it's really easy to use and everyone uses it worldwide. The next step is getting paid. So you've used PayPal. Now, before you finish the work or while you are negotiating with the client, make sure that they pay you a deposit before. Usually you should ask 50% of what it's going for. So obviously if you are charging $1,000, they need to pay a $500 deposit before the work is done. And then when the project is done, they can then pay you for the rest of the project. And what you can do is you can send them like a low res file in the beginning to show them that it's done, and then once they're paid, send them the full high res version, the proper version of the render. Okay, the next step is pretty crucial in my opinion. A lot of people might skip over it, but be responsible, communicate with the client. So let's say you've told the client it's going to take you a week to finish the job. After like 3 days, just update the client and say, okay, well, I'm 50% done. This and this and this have been done. And yeah, just communicate with the client. Trust me, they will appreciate it. The next bit of advice, I can almost guarantee you that every client / company will want you to do a revision at least once of the render. They're going to say, well, they like this, but they want the car to be blue. Instead, it was pink. Okay, you can just change it. That's not an issue. Don't fight them over it. I'd suggest allowing 2 revisions per like job, basically. So 1 revision and then a second revision. If they're not happy, then they'll have to pay extra for any more revisions. I think 2 is fair. You can make it as many as you want, but that's just my opinion. The last little bit of advice is, if you are already getting people or companies asking you for commissions, that means your work is good enough. They like it. No company is going to ask you to do something for them and pay you unless they believe your work is good enough, unless they're trying to scam you. But be careful of scams. So hopefully this video helped you. If it did, make sure you subscribe. If you've made it this far, leave a wink in the comments. But otherwise, hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.